Hey guys, welcome back to Everyday Sex. This is season 3, episode 8.
Why are you talking like that?
That was so super high energy, right?
Sounds like an AI. That was incredible.
Oh my god. When we were getting ready to record, I was like, "Okay, I want to be really high energy." And I was going to have a second coffee before we recorded, but then I would have probably shit my pants or felt sick. So I decided not to. But
Jeez, that's hilarious.
okay,
Oh,
icebreaker.
icebreaker. Welcome back. Hi, it's Stel here, by the way. I just chirped Sarah instantly.
Yes, this is Sarah, and we're happy to be back. Uh, happy to be alive.
Oh my god, get with the icebreaker. What is this?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
surprise.
I know. I love to plan things and not tell you
I
because
know,
I
she
think
always
it's so
tells
funny.
me, like, literally right before we hop on, and I'm like, okay, great.
Because we normally do like, "Hey, how's it going? Like, what have you been up to?" Blah blah blah, which is good sometimes, but sometimes I want to spice it up. And
Mm,
what do the viewers? Let me ask you this, okay? What do the viewers come here for?
you?
Aw, that's nice. No, what do the listeners want to hear? What are they really tuning in for? Tell
The
us.
stuff.
The sex stuff, tea, that is true. So let me ask you this before we get into our topic.
You kind of look like you just had sex.
I wish I did. I truthfully wish I did. Let me tell you guys something about long distance, okay? A long distance relationship is hard. Message me if you ever want to talk about if you're in a long distance relationship and you're having trouble, please contact me. Um, I am doing it as well, and it is hard. And I'm not having sex because my girlfriend is 5,000 kilometers away. And that
You
sucks.
would never catch me doing long distance.
You would never. You would literally never. And you wouldn't survive. I don't even think you'd survive 3 days.
What do you mean? I think I'd do pretty well, actually.
If it was an open relationship, maybe.
Oh my god.
Right, though? That's the only way. That is the only way. All right. Icebreaker of the day.
Mhm.
Stell, what is your current favorite sex position and why?
Um, I hate when you do this. Um,
What's been feeling good lately? What's been working lately?
um, I am gonna. So like I said before, I think I've mentioned that I like middle of the night and morning sex,
Mhm.
and mullet. Julian's got to cut that out. Julian,
We're
cut
gonna do that.
We're gonna beep that out.
Okay, so we're gonna have to beep that. We're gonna beep that out. But so
Yeah.
you and your CSP, go ahead.
um, we're having a lot of um. I'm red.
Ah,
Can't tell on the camera, but I can feel it.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, a lot of morning sex, and so it's like we've been doing a lot of. I've been doing a lot of eating ass.
Wow.
uh, yeah. Sorry to my current CSP for outing that, but I'm just saying. But we've been talking about using the strap eventually because we haven't actually, but we've been
I
wanting
was
to. But
gonna ask.
it's kind of hard to find a time to do it without with trying to be considerate to other people because I have a
Mhm,
roommate. So
mhm.
um and it's like we talk about some positions and some that I would really like to do that I'm really excited to do with my current
Tell us.
CSP is because my current CSP likes for me to be a bit aggressive.
Uh-huh.
So there have been times where we'll mimic what we want to do eventually when we do that, when we're just like getting hot and heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be like a hand to the throat, me behind, on our side kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it seems like it'll be super great.
Yeah. Yeah. So the difference between the sex you're already having with having roommates and whatever and have using a strap is just because you assume it'll be a lot like a much louder experience.
Much louder.
I love it.
Yeah, from
Wow.
what my current CSP has told me, they need to express themselves, especially when that's happening. They can usually contain it when it's not that, but when it's that, it's hard for them to contain it.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So,
What's your favorite sex position?
okay, well, my sex position right now is long distance, okay? So it's nothing, but
But
uh
when you yeah.
um okay, so I said to Stel before we pressed record that I have crossed into different territory now that I've hard launched my girlfriend. And now when I talk about sex, y'all know I'm not just like it's not like a mysterious like, "Ooh, who's it about?" Like y'all know who I'm talking about now. So I want to be careful and respectful to my girlfriend and not ever say anything and cross any boundaries and also just
Cross the
like
boundary.
keep shut up. And I want to keep like a lot of what we do in that way like private to us.
For
The
sure.
other girls that I was fucking around with that I didn't care about, listen, I'm out here airing it out because it doesn't matter. Um also okay, so hot. Something that Liv said, it's weird to say her name. Okay, maybe I should just keep saying Lana. I know
Yeah,
she said it was weird. What? What?
no,
Um when when Liv listened to the podcast when we weren't together, like when were just kind of like reconnecting and like whatever, sorting out what we were going to do. She said to me once, she said, normally I hate listening to my person talk about other people they've been with. But with you, it's different because when you're talking about me, even if you don't say who it is, I can hear in your voice that you're talking about me. And she's so right. Like when I've talked about her on this podcast, like historically, season 1, season 2, and like our sexual experiences, if I listen back I can hear it. Like even if I didn't say Lana, you can tell because I do it was always very different with her than with anybody else, and that's just so hot. Like mm, love it. So anyway, my current favorite sexual position is non-existent. I also look forward to using a strap with my partner. We haven't done that yet either, but plan is for her to be out here in February. So yeah, so I hope that we explore that then. So yeah,
good thing you know of roommates.
roommates. I do have neighbors though, and I love like I live in this building where it's very community, very like family feel. Like I know everyone. Like when people make extra food, they bring it over to me. Like it's like very like
That's nice.
community vibe, which is so nice. But like I love to be friendly and like close with my neighbors. But then if I'm getting absolutely
Rail.
taken to Pound Town,
Yeah,
okay, then
rail.
absolutely railed, okay, I then I don't want to be close with my neighbors because like I'm
They'll
like
be like, "You had a good night last
yeah exactly, like taking Nala out in the morning like hey,
night?"
you were up late, is that it's crazy. And I'd be like no, but it's very soundproofed. I've never ever heard either of my neighbors ever at all. um that doesn't mean, but I'm and I always have music on. I've talked about this on this podcast before. When I'm having sex, there's music on, just always. So that kind of buffers it a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, but also like there's so many nice Airbnbs around here, like cabin in the woods sort of vibes, and I'll
Oh, so
definitely take her out to like a random cabin somewhere, and then we can have no
cute.
what?
Very cute.
Not cute. It's about having no noise restrictions.
Okay, but it's still cute.
Yeah, it is cute. Maybe for Valentine's Day, I'll take her to the cabin. The cabin, as if I have one. I don't know, a cabin. I don't know.
Wow.
uh,
Bring all your. Never mind. Sorry.
okay, no, I don't have. I have not had a lot of people on this island. Like I've been pretty,
Mm-hmm.
pretty to myself. So, anyways, okay. Topic of the day is
The
relevant.
honeymoon
Oh,
phase.
sorry. Go ahead. Yeah,
I'm gonna say
the,
the honeymoon phase.
the honeymoon phase.
And Sarah knows about this probably very intensely right now, just because she is in it.
Mm-hmm.
So Sarah's gonna take the horse by its reins and take it.
Hot. Yeah. Yeah. But you've had you do have a CSP, so some of this stuff will be relevant to you,
Yeah, for
but
sure. And I've definitely been in it before, like with my exes and stuff. So I get it.
yeah. So I guess the first thing is like when we say the honeymoon phase, I think the most frequent comment that comes up is, does it end? And I think that's within your control. And what comes to mind when I think about how to hold on to the honeymoon phase is continuing to be courting your partner. Like
What do you mean courting?
courting, that's like an old fashioned word. Like, guys, I'm turning 28 next month and I feel it in my fucking bones. I'm like, God, I'm
So,
old.
no, what the hell?
Well, your hair looks good.
I know it's really working out.
Yeah. It's giving
Yeah,
hockey. It's giving OHL.
I feel like the dad from Boy Meets World.
Wow, I haven't seen that show in a long time.
Anyway, go on. Sorry.
So how do you keep so the honeymoon phase? Let's just okay, quick definition of the honeymoon phase. The first few weeks or first few months with a new partner when everything is fucking roses and it's tons of sex and tons of lust and tons of like flirting and high energy and I'm so in love with you, I'm so excited to be with you, like vibes all the time. The
Mhm.
question is, does that end once you're 6 months into a relationship? I think that I guess ultimately what we all want is to keep that going. How do we do that? I guess my front of mind would be, oh yeah, that's where I was going with that, was treat your partner like you're always still trying to get her, courting, like still buying flowers and still going on dates. Section off a day every week or every 2 weeks, every second Friday, you still go out and do like an organized date. And Julian mentioned this on one of our early episodes, like keeping the spark or something that we were talking about that,
Yes, he does that with his wife.
yeah, and they've been married for like whatever, like 20 years or something. Or how long have they been married? 7 years? He's not.
Literally not 20 years. I don't think. I think
Don't let him listen to this.
that's
Yeah, no,
why.
because he's just turned 40. So, yeah, they've been married for a while and they've been together for a long time now. Um, anyways, about like an organized, like we get so comfortable with just eating on the couch and watching Netflix. Like, let's go bowling and then let's go to dinner, or let's go do a paint night, or Liv and I did mini putt, and that was kind of funny because she's like a professional golfer. So I don't know why I took her there. Obviously, I didn't win and probably never will at that, but just like fun, getting out of your chair, doing something together, laughing, like any activities like that, keeping, I don't know, that kind of goes with like the phrase was going to be keeping the spark, but keeping the honeymoon phase going. What would be your advice on keeping that going?
No, I think you kind of nailed it on the head there. Like just like doing things to keep the spark. Like things were getting a little rocky with my current CSP, and and so we had a very needed conversation, and we got on the same page, and then I took them out to dinner, and then we had a nice little date in Montreal yesterday or 2 days ago, just to kind of do things. And then they said that they had a lot of fun, and it reminded them that they don't get the chance to be that goofy and fun and carefree like and it was nice. And it's exciting, like I think it's a very I when I'm with someone, I try and bring out people's like inner childs. I think.
Mm.
I think that's what I love doing that because I think I'm I can't like I'm very mature, but I think I love to keep the goofiness and like like just like like just some things don't need to be that serious,
Mhm.
and keeping that goofiness and laughter in a relationship or whatever kind of thing you have is like important, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, the date that comes up when you're saying that for me is like the trampoline park. Like I would feel so like I don't I just think I couldn't because I'd feel so like embarrassed. But
Yeah.
that's such an inner child. Like that's something that at 12 years old we would have loved to do. And why
Yeah.
not go do that and just laugh? Like, yeah, you look stupid. You look the socks with the
Yeah.
rubber. You look dumb as fuck, bitch. But
Yeah.
you're
It's so
both doing it. And it's funny and you're laughing and like ugh, going to the movies, I mean, okay, yeah, once in a while, fine, but let's go do something that neither of us have ever done, you
yeah.
know? Yeah.
Yeah. But like we went thrifting all day and we were just like high and laughing and it was just such a goofy day and it was nice
Yeah.
and it was very easy and I said to them that I noticed something the one day because we were in my kitchen and I just started like dancing with them and I was like, wow, I remember I used to beg my ex partner to be like, why won't you ever just like dance with me? Like I just want to
Mhm.
be like
Silly.
cheesy and corny and do the little dance wherever we are thing and they were always like, no, I don't want to dance. Like, I blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, okay. And I used to have to beg and beg and beg for the bare minimum. And it was like, now it's like I have to, even sometimes I'm like, whoa, there's a lot. Like, they're doing it a lot now. It's not a bad
Yeah.
thing. It's just I'm not used to it. So it's
Yeah.
like, and they had mentioned it was like, yeah, it was like an inner child thing. And hold on, I want to see if I can find what they mentioned as well. Because they said something about, um, let's see. It was about inner child. Where is it? Aha, here. Um, they're like, and dancing in the car with you and dancing in the kitchen thing. It's like fulfilling something in my inner child,
That's
and
a
that
very nice thing to say.
yeah, and that's kind of how I want to be for people. Like I don't know. I think I'm funny, and I think I bring joy to people just by laughing. And I don't know if I can't do
Yeah.
that, then what the heck am I gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah. And to be able to do that now, but also 10 years into the relationship to still dance around the kitchen and dance in the car, like that's important. That's what
Yeah.
we want to hold on to.
And then
So,
those little things, like they told me once they were at my house and they're like, I didn't get them water right away, and now every time they're here, I get them water instantly, and they're like, "That's just so sweet and cute." Like you just
mhm.
remember small things, and
Yeah.
it's just important because I remember when my last ex and we were falling apart, and they were like, you don't even like get me water before bed anymore. Like, what
Yeah.
happened to that? Why did that stop?" And I was like, "I don't know."
Yeah.
And just those things, just so those things going away clearly made this person feel like they weren't that important anymore.
Mhm.
And then
And then you don't notice it wasn't a certain day that you decided I'm not gonna do it anymore. It
yeah,
just
as
falls. Yeah. Yeah.
things start
Yeah.
falling apart, right? So like it's important to keep those things there because it makes people happy.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, honeymoon phase, beginning of the relationship. Um,
So yeah, but being in the relationship, you got these butterflies, crazy.
mhm.
Have you heard about the fact that people say the butterflies are actually a bad thing?
Oh, 'cause it's like anxiety?
Yeah,
Or
because of
mm,
something that you've already felt before somebody else that has given you those feelings.
interesting.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
it's trying to warn you that you've been here before, avoid it.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, instead
I
of this is a good feeling.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, no, I've never heard that. I always affiliate it a little bit with like, I don't know, just feeling like, I don't know, butterflies to me are like, okay, when I landed in Ottawa and Liv was downstairs waiting to pick me up from the airport, like going down the escalator and knowing that she was waiting at the bottom for me after not seeing each other for a month, that's butterflies to me, where it's like, oh my God, holy fuck, like so excited to see that person. Or the feeling when you like, okay, oh my God, I love before you tell someone you love them for the first time, there's often several moments where you've said it in your head or you've said it under your breath to them in these like special little moments. Don't do that. Don't look at me like that. Like, so Liv and I, like, I, so I said it first, which I've never done. I know, never done that before. She had said, well, I guess kind of half and half. She had said to me, I'm falling in love with you
Mm.
first, like quite as the lesbians do quite early on. And that, like, that to me is butterflies. The feeling that I felt in my stomach when she said that was like, wow, like that felt crazy. And then when I got in the car um at the airport and we were just sitting there, like, I said it first, but the feeling that I felt right before I said it, or the feeling I felt when she said it back, like all those, I don't know, all those just like total, like I don't know, like an adrenaline rush of like your whole body just feels so good. Oh, I love that. And then after we both said it, we talked about all these certain like very specific times that we had both said it, like
Yeah,
without saying it out loud.
I
Um,
accidentally said it
did you
at,
really?
at the end of a phone call yesterday.
Oh my God. You said to me before you were scared that that was going to happen.
I know because speak so quickly, and it was in the moment of something that we were like not fighting. It was like a jokey fight. Like I was like, okay, bye. Like, because I was like, what did I say? Oh, they were like, send a photo of your face with light so I could see what your color palette is. And I was like, well, let me take a shower first. And they're like, no, 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 it's fine. I'm like, no, 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 I'm gonna do it right now. Okay, bye, love you. And then, but then I was like, okay, bye, love you. And then I was like, and then they were like, oh, and I was like, I did not mean to say that, like, because genuinely I didn't, but it was just like sometimes just like it's like,
That's how
and
we hang up the phone. Like a lot
what
with a lot of our people, that's how you and I hang up the phone. Like,
exactly, and I'm saying
yeah.
I love it like everyone,
Yeah.
literally, and so it was like
What?
it was like we had it was funny. They were like, "I'm just busting your balls, like it's fine. I know you don't," and I'm like, "Okay, cool,"
Oh
but like,
my God.
but
That's
it was like a little awkward. But they've also had times where they've been, I think, close, and I've been like, but it's I
oh.
understand those feelings of things get really real, but it's important to like listen to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And know, like, okay, knowing when to like only say it if you really mean it. That is important based on what you just said.
Mhm.
And don't just say it because they said it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I hate to air him out. I do hate to air him out. My brother said it, like he and Kara have been together for 6 years. They just celebrated 6 years together, and he said it first to her, and she didn't say it back right away. And then he oh, I feel so bad. They don't listen to this, but he's leaving her apartment, and he said, "I love you," and then it was silent, and then he's like, say it back. And she didn't, which I love, because she waited. I think she said it was like maybe a week or two later when a moment struck her that she was like, no, I love this person.
Uh,
Don't say it back because the other person said it. Say it when you truly feel it. Like, and I've done that before too, where I haven't said it until I felt it. And obviously it's awkward to not say it when they say it for the first
yeah,
time. But anyways, say it when you mean it, not just because it's cute or because you're out for a nice dinner. Like, say it when you mean it. That's my tip on that. Um, okay. Something I wanted to share in this conversation is I've been telling all my friends about it lately, except for you, apparently.
yeah.
It's called the bird theory. and I saw it on TikTok where I get all my important information. And so the bird theory is okay, I'll use Liv and I as an example. So let's say Liv and I are out at breakfast and we're sitting at the table out on a patio and we're facing each other. And over Liv's shoulder, I see a really beautiful bird, a red cardinal. That's what I always use as my example. So there's a nice bird, okay, on the branch. And I'm sitting there and I'm just like, you know me, I'm good vibes. I'm appreciating nature as one would. And I'm like, wow, what a fucking beautiful bird. Holy shit, that bird, like stunning. Look at its red feathers. I don't know. Okay, I don't know what the word is for a bird expert, okay, but I'm not that. And so okay, point is I'm really appreciating this bird. Liv's not facing the bird. So the bird theory is this could go one of two ways. Either Liv's gonna keep looking at me and be like, oh, like cool, and then start talking about something else, or she's gonna turn around and look at the bird and say, oh wow, yeah, like that bird is beautiful. Even if Liv doesn't give a fucking shit about this red cardinal that's on the branch, it is important by bird theory that she takes interest because I'm interested. Okay. So, and I, over Christmas, I called Nick and Cara out on it. Nick is sitting on the couch playing COD, and as you would. And he turned around and he was like, Cara, will you come watch me play? And I thought that was so cute. And she was like, oh, of course. So she takes her like, she's always like crocheting, like she loves, so she'll crochet on the couch with Nick while he's playing COD and watch him play COD. And she'll look up and be like, oh my God, did you see that guy in the, like, I don't care. You know more about COD than I do. But the point is that like even if Kara doesn't give a fucking shit about Call of Duty and the video games, she sits with him and she takes interest. And when he tells her what gun he's using, she listens and she remembers and she takes interest. Like, I know nothing about golf, but I watch golf with Liv because she loves it. Not just because she loves it. It's not just about doing a service to your partner. It's about caring about what your partner is passionate about and making it something that you also like genuinely care about. That's the bird theory.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the theory is that relationships that are long lasting include showing interest in what your partner's doing. Like your boyfriend watches Sunday football every Sunday and you don't give a shit, but you'll sit with him and watch the second half of the game and ask about who got the score, who got what point. Look at, I don't even know what the fucking lingo is. Who scored a touchdown? Was it Taylor Swift's boyfriend or not? That's all I knew. That's all I need to know.
So jokes.
But yeah,
I've never heard that, but I like that. And my current CSP is very good with that. So that's great.
caring about what, like, or if you
Yeah.
say like, oh, I'm doing this today, she could say cool, or she could say like asking, it's kind of like active listening, like, oh, you have an appointment for such and such, like let me know how that goes, and then following up the next day to be like, how did that appointment go, like just taking interest and making the effort to care about what the other person is doing or what the other person loves, even if it's the most obscure like hobby, just caring enough and yeah, just showing your partner that if they care about it, then I care about it too.
Mm,
So that's that.
interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah.
heard that, but I like it. It's nice.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't know. I feel like the honeymoon phase is just so many things put together. I
Mm-hmm.
like that bird theory.
Mm-hmm.
So what we've said, the bird theory, keeping the spark, kind of doing things like dates and stuff like that. And then like communications with like lifestyles. And that's a thing that's actually very true because, well, I don't know. I like to think opposites attract, but then also people who are the same can also, it can also work. So
Mm-hmm.
like my ex and I weren't very compatible at all, and here we are.
Yeah.
My current CSP, we're also not overly compatible either, but we also, I feel like what my ex and I lacked was they didn't care about anything I cared about.
Mhm. Mhm.
I always cared about everything they cared about, but it was never like mutual. Whereas now, like my current CSP will sit on my bed and watch TV or do things, and I'll be playing video games.
Mhm.
And like they'll take an interest. I'll be like, "Oh my god, you see that?" And they'll be like, "Yeah, that was awesome." And I'm like, "Cool."
Yeah.
And so and like
No,
I,
yeah, yeah, no, and touching on that, I feel like Liv and I aren't on paper very compatible either. And so I think it's more of like an opposites attract kind of thing. But I think having some similar um interests like is helpful. Like I just, having at least some similar like lifestyle aspects um would help with just even just like planning dates and planning a weekend away, whatever. If you're with somebody that also wants to go hiking, like for me, that would be important. But
yeah,
and I'll learn how to golf. But what I've learned, no, I will. I'm sure she's going to teach me how to golf.
right.
Yeah.
We can go.
Um, what?
We can go golfing.
Okay, cool, good. Um, I think that what I learned with Liv is like I've been with people that I'm maybe more compatible with, but I was trying to force the chemistry.
Mhm.
And you can I think that really strong communication can navigate like differences of opinion, differences of lifestyle, and whatever like differences that you might have, but chemistry cannot be forced and I don't think it can be developed. I think that it's there or it's not. And that's something that my partner and I that I've always felt like an overwhelming sense of. And
Mhm.
the rest I can kind of figure out. The rest we can kind of, like make it work or whatever.
Okay.
But the actual just chemistry of I'm sexually attracted to you and I want to hold your hand and I want to sit next to you on the couch, like, and just that draw, that like magnetic draw to somebody. I don't think
Mhm.
that that happens all the time. I
Well,
think
that's
that's
also with something that I was telling you about the invisible string theory.
okay. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. I've seen it on TikTok, but I don't know enough. Tell us about the invisible string theory.
So it's like this connection that you have with somebody. Yeah, I think it can be more than one person, but I think it's very limited. Like I think it's meant for one person, but like that, like I've seen videos of like people who are married to someone that they met a couple years ago, obviously, but turns out they were in each other's lives for like since they were kids or something like that. Like they took their first day at school photo, and in the background their husband was in it.
Right.
They didn't even know who this person was, and like being at the same events without even knowing them, and like the same like life events and all these things. And that's kind of how I feel about certain people in my life, and it's like it's just too much of a coincidence
Hmm.
sometimes where it's like no, it's this invisible string that you guys have attached to each other that is just that it means that like this person was meant to be in your life for a reason or meant to like just come and go or
Hmm.
something along those lines. But yes, that's kind of the gist of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know. I saw a TikTok that was like, this girl and she and her husband just got married and she was like her mom had passed like a couple years ago and she was saying like, oh, I really really wish that my mom could have met my husband,
Oh
like my
yeah, and he was her school teacher. He
and he
was
was her and she the mom was his school teacher for like kindergarten. That reminded me when you said that. And it was
yeah,
like, oh, she did meet him, she spent time with him, like, and that's crazy, like.
yeah, it's something like that. And so that's how I feel about a couple people.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's an interesting concept. Okay, another theory or concept
Yeah,
that
what is this?
I think of when I think of the honeymoon phase that I've written down here. How do you feel about the 5 date rule? That's the traditional rule that you shouldn't have sex until the fifth date. What are your thoughts?
I don't mind because you know me, I don't really care about sex all that much. So for me, it's I'm cool with it.
Fifth date, 10th date, 15th date, 50th date, still
I've
doesn't.
on the first, I've had it on the second, I've had it on whatever. I've had it like my current CSP and I hung out probably like 5 to 6 times before we ever slept together.
Mm-hmm.
And they slept over at my house like once or twice before, or maybe once before we slept together.
Yeah. I feel like lesbians move faster. Like with men, I was more respectful probably of the 5 date rule than I am or than I would be with women. Like I don't know, like I mean, Liv and I hooked up, but that was like last year. That's hard to because we weren't together then. It was more a
Yeah,
sneaky link, if you will.
that's
But
you think.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that I used to believe in the 5 date rule more, and I
I
when I
remember
was
you
dating,
talking about it before. I think
well,
we've
when
had this conversation on this podcast about the 5 day rule.
yeah, possibly in the first couple episodes. I guess I felt like before when I was dating men that it was all about like a respect thing and like the men are going to like they're going to think that you're easy if you have sex right away or like um this is like young me, like my like late teen early 20s vibes was like you have to like keep it as like a like I don't know, I do still think keeping it as something to look forward to holds value and building a bit of tension and building a bit of like excitement towards it. But I used to be think it was very important to like to show the man that you're with that you're not easy and that you want something serious. You have to wait to have sex. But now I'm way more like sex positive, sex open, like
Yeah, so then
whatever.
you have those 5 date rules a little here and there, I guess.
Well, because it's like if I want to have sex, I should have sex. It's my body, my choice. Like it doesn't make me any different of a woman if I decide to have sex on the first date or the eighth date or the second. Like, why would that impact my like worth or my like what I'm looking for? Like
Mhm.
because I used to also say like, oh, on your Tinder profile, if you put all bikini photos, you're going to be attracting a guy that only wants to sleep with you. And like, I don't agree with that anymore. Like why would that, like, if I want to show off my body because I look good, then like, okay, that doesn't mean I just want to be used for sex. Like, so
Yeah.
anyway, it's a complicated topic.
No, it makes sense. So then what's next? I guess you do the 5 day rule, you have sex, you go through the honeymoon phase, and now you're wanting to get out of the honeymoon phase.
Well, I guess you never want to get out of the honeymoon phase.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, like, you want to move forward because I feel like everyone has the stigma that it's within the first couple of months.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So then I guess the next stage of this of dating and stuff that we're discussing is like, okay, oh my God, knowing when to cut off your roster. How do you feel about that? That's a tough one. Like knowing when to be like, okay, this person is worth like me telling these other people that that I'm seeing someone. Like,
I don't think that's a
go ahead.
unpopular opinion. I don't think that should be a measurement of worth for them.
Uh-huh. Hot take.
Like,
Well, like,
you know, I guess if you're open and communicate that you're honest to other people, but it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything.
yeah,
Like it does mean so, but it doesn't mean that like they're any less to you,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. I think that it's all about intention. You've been intentional with your CSP that you aren't ready for anything serious right now.
Hmm.
You've clearly communicated that. That's great. My thing would be like when Liv and I started saying things like, I'm falling for you and I could see this being a long-term thing. That's when we started having conversations around like, okay, what are we doing? Like, is this
Yeah.
exclusive? Like, and I guess the word exclusive ties into cutting off a roster. Like, if
Hmm.
we've established that we're only seeing each other, I don't need, that means number one, I'm of course not seeing anyone else, but I'm also not talking to anybody else romantically. And that conversation, like I said, came to us when we started to say things like, I could see myself with you forever, that kind of thing. Because I don't want to have those conversations and know that you're still talking to other people. That's fucking shady. Like, that's not going to
Yeah,
work.
that's fair.
And
What is?
so, wait, on the cutting off the roster, a note that I have here, I, there is this like stigma or whatever that like breaking up over text or, um, like ending things with somebody over text, even just cutting someone off the roster, like doing it over text or whatever, is like cowardly. And I'm here to say that it's not, because and that's like a bit of it's like a bit serious for, normally if it's a roster, you just, not that you should ghost people, but you just kind of like phase it out and it's like not that serious. But I think that texting is a fine way to articulate how you're feeling if you're ending things with somebody, whether it even be like, I know it's like breaking up over text, blah blah, like it's not great, but for some people would say, but for me, if I'm on the phone or in person, I'm not going to say how I really feel. I'm going to let my emotions guide. Whereas if it's over text, I can type out how I'm feeling, think about it again, retype it, edit it, and make sure that I say everything exactly how I feel. Well, right though, and not just be like, because I'm a pushover. So if somebody's like crying, like I'm gonna just say like, okay, yeah, you're right, like, whatever, whatever. Whereas that's not how I feel. So I just want to
Oh,
make a note about, like, just I think that texting and being able to, if you're better written out with articulating yourself, I think that's a fine way to communicate with people, whether
I'm
it
like
be good or bad things.
I'm like that. I get very easily like if I see someone cry, I'm like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get that. And so I guess that goes hand in hand with like deleting the apps and all those things.
Deleting your app, and the amount of time I've had this conversation with people, deleting Tinder off your phone, your profile's still up, babe. You need to go on, delete your account, not just your profile. Yes, if you just like, when it's shaking and you can edit the apps, if you just delete the app, you're still on there. And what I,
Oh,
what I don't need is somebody hitting me up like, "Hey, I just saw your girl on Tinder." Like, I am not doing that. Like, delete your fucking profile. You don't need it. Also, I'm not
I
gonna.
do the app, like it's not even there.
But you're still on there. Your profile's still there.
It's inactive.
Okay, I'm just saying, if you really see, yeah, well, I would say, if you were my partner, I would say delete the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't mind deleting it. It's fine. But I'm just saying, like, what does it matter? Like, it's
Well, because
inactive. You don't have it.
I know, but it's if you if that was the case, and then I get a text that says I just swiped by your girlfriend on Tinder, and then it makes my
Okay.
relationship look, yeah, I know, but then I'm like, oh, what? Like, I thought she deleted it. Like, then I look fucking dumb.
Oh, no, I guess I don't know. But then in that case, I'd be like, hey, someone said they found you on Tinder. And then I'd be like, oh, yeah, I deleted it. But I guess my account's still there. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Look at you, you're so secure. No,
I
I
just,
love it.
no, I don't know. I
Do
don't
you have apps right now?
No. I deleted them before we even said we were exclusive. But I
Okay.
didn't delete my accounts now that you're saying it. I don't think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I did or didn't. Like, I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I didn't download them again. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I just was talking to them and I was like, I don't really feel like meeting people in the outside world anymore. Like, I'd rather just chill right now. And so I
Mhm.
deleted it.
Yeah, fair. Okay, and on the conversation of apps, let's talk social media. I'm a professional at this. Let's talk hard launch, soft launch, posting each other on social media. Okay, I had so much fun soft launching Liv, like her hand in the back of a picture, like,
You did it for one day and then you hard launched.
okay, no, I posted at least like 3 soft launches. Thank you.
Oh, okay, sorry.
And then I posted a hard launch with her handle and everything. I love the drama. So, and you know what? Some people might be like, Sarah, nobody fucking cares. That could be true. However, after I posted my 3 soft launches, and then I posted my hard launch, I had a girl from high school who, like, I don't really know that well, but um had slide and be like, "Oh my god, I spent like such and such time, like whatever. I spent an hour last night trying to figure out who it was, and then you hard launched her today. Like, what a waste of my time. Ha ha ha." Like, something like that. So she like literally went in trying to figure out who I was dating. It made me feel famous. I was like, wow. Like, you care that? That's so funny.
So good.
So I love the drama. I got a lot of hot feedback on my soft launches because they were spicy and fun.
I
And
like watching.
yeah, yeah, you've done a few, because well, you guys aren't in a relationship, so but you guys have done a few little soft little teases here and there.
Done some that might seem like more, but we're just having fun. We're just hanging out.
Oh my god, we're just having fun. Gross. No, yeah.
Mhm.
Um, And posting each other on social, that's an interesting conversation because, like, okay, see, now this is what I'm saying. Everything's just going to be me talking about Liv because you guys know who I'm dating now. But Liv does not post on social media ever, like once a year. Like, so even I post like 6, 7 times a day. So at first I was like, oh, like, like I'm posting you, like blah blah blah, and I'm feeling like a little bit insecure that like she's not posting me. But then it's like she really doesn't like it'd be different if she was posting every day and avoiding it. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I've dated people like that before where I was like, oh well, like it's not. It's not. It feels good, of course, when your part like everybody wants to be shown off. I will say
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
It feels good, but it's not doesn't equal how much you care about someone. Like, I think we can let go of that. I
No, I
do.
get
So,
that.
um, and okay, posting each other on socials. Go
And
ahead.
again, and then that leads to when you post on socials, people get curious, and then you have to meet each other's friends and family.
Hmm.
It's just so much pressure.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is a lot of pressure.
Would you
I think.
rather
Mhm.
want to meet someone's family already being their girlfriend? Like, would you want them to ask you to be their girlfriend before or after? Or do you not care?
Um, I think either way, because I know and my partner knows the intention is for it to be long term. Like I wouldn't bring someone around that I was just sleeping with, obviously. Like I wouldn't I think I okay, I guess the answer is I don't care if there's a label or not, but the conversation of what are we doing here would need
Mhm.
to be very, very like concrete before
Yeah.
introducing to my family.
Yep. Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. And then that leads into asking the question. I'm I'm not going to say I'm high maintenance. A lot of people will be like I'm like, "Oh, when did you guys start dating?" And they're like, "Oh, I don't know. Like it just kind of happened. Not in this house. Not today. You will ask me formally,
Mhm.
Sarah, will you be my girlfriend?" It'll be like a statement. We're not just going to like, "Oh, yeah, like yeah, we kind of just started calling." Like no, like you will ask for my hand in not marriage. Okay. Like, so, and Liv knew that and she followed through. So, anyways, I think that it's important because it's nice to also have a date like that you now have a, an anniversary on. So,
Yeah. Also, my thing was like, I don't want it to be around Christmas or anything. So then you can have it like, so you can have a separate day for things, you know?
yeah. Yeah,
So I think about
exactly.
like,
I told Liv that too. I was like, don't fucking ask me on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. And of course she asked me on December 23rd.
yeah.
Like right before midnight. like
Ah,
like it was like yeah, anyways. So
ah.
yeah, I know. So okay, so now I want to talk about for those of you who are in this like initial stages of a relationship and you're getting to know your this partner and you're kind of in the stage of not sure if you want to take the next step and go further. Our next kind of like bit of conversation here is what is holding you back? And we've got a couple kind of little topics in amongst this one. So do you want to start?
Yeah. So it's always like, I'm a big sucker for this because I have a lot of like what if problems and like
Mhm.
FOMO, including people. So
You
it's more like
do.
I do have a lot of FOMO, like of literally being like, what if I got that? I just need to make sure.
Hmm.
And then I do it, and it's never greener. So it's like that saying, the grass is always greener on the grass is greener on the other side, but it's never greener on the other side. It's like it's literally it's so like for the most part it never is because like it's something that you've like almost like created in your mind that is a version of someone,
Hmm.
and then like you meet it and you're like, why is this not how I thought it was gonna be? But
Well, and
it's
that's
like,
what they say, never meet your idols because you'll
yeah,
meet them and you're like, oh, cringe.
yeah, because you've created an entire scenario and an entire persona that isn't actually them.
Yeah.
That's also like what they say about when you're still holding on to an ex. It's like you're just holding on to the memories that you wish you had with them and that you could have, what could have been, but it just couldn't, you know?
Yeah. And it wasn't. Like you hold on to the good times. My breakup advice has always been be fucking angry. Think about all the shit, like literally make a list of all the shitty fucking things that happened and reread it a couple times. Like don't sit
Yeah.
there and think about, oh, well, like you said, the could have beens. We could have had this, we could have had that. Like, nah, be mad.
Yeah.
So the grass is always greener. That's what holds people back. People like you with FOMO for sure.
Yeah.
Feeling like people that have been in a relationship for 8 years, they see their like single out of the club, having fun, sleeping around Tinder friend, and they're like, oh my God, that must be so fun to like go out and sleep with random guys and blah blah. And then the single person is like, oh my God, look at you with like a house and kids and a
Right.
stable life, and like that must be nice. So it's kind of, we always want what we don't have.
Yeah. Well, but that's
But
like
for
what you
me, sorry, go ahead.
said. That's like that other thing that you've mentioned in a few episodes, the paradox of choice.
Yeah, same thing. And that's something that comes from social media. I mean, dating apps and social media, is
Yeah.
that you could be going out with somebody, everything's going well, you're happy, healthy, live, love, laugh, like having a great time. But then you go on Tinder and you're like, I have 387 people in my area that I could go out with right now. There's someone better. Someone in this stack is going to be better. And then you leave what you have, even if it's good, to explore the unknown because you think it's going to be so much better. And then it
It
sucks.
sucks.
Yeah.
It's usually never greener, better. I
Hmm.
don't know. That's kind of how I think.
Hmm.
And then I don't know. I guess you know about the next point here, which is long distance.
That can hold people back. Like a lot of people like you wouldn't
Mhm.
do what I'm doing,
Yeah.
and Liv's never done it before until now, and it's
Like I guess
absolutely hard.
I think if it was the right person, I'd do it for them, but otherwise, no.
Yeah. It's super, super difficult. I know that there's probably a lot of people that might, let's say you're dating for 3 months and then one person moves away and you just kind of break up because you're like, no, I mean, it's not going to work out. The key to long distance, and I could do an episode on navigating long distance relationships, and maybe we will someday. But the key to it is a solid end point. Like you got to know, like it only works if you and the other person have really settled on, we're going to do this for 7 months and then you're going to move here and then we're going to start our life together. No,
Yeah.
like not like, oh, who knows when and how and where.
But
That's
those
just,
are like things that are like non-negotiables, like you mentioned, right? So it's like also like kids and stuff like that. Like we had
mm,
our other guest, Nick Burden, on, and he had mentioned that him and his ex, they broke up because he has a non-negotiable. He doesn't want children, and you know what? She realized she does want children. So it's like, and that's just kind of how it is. And I've been with somebody who I've had the exact same like non-negotiable where I was like, I want kids, and she was like, well, I don't, and I'm like, oh well, let's not waste each other's time, even though we think we'd be good together. Like we just don't want the same things in life.
yeah.
Some
Well,
people
and
don't.
there's so many non-negotiables like that. Like I don't want to leave this isn't me speaking, but I don't want to leave my hometown because my parents are there and this person wants to travel, or I want kids, or I don't want dogs, or I want to practice religion and you don't, and that's a non-negotiable for, like I want this is not me speaking, you guys know I'm a fucking atheist, but uh like I want my partner has to be Christian, let's say, or my partner has to, some people have financial non-negotiables. My partner needs to be in this certain like career, not career field, but like money bracket in order, like that's kind of a shitty one because like I
But
don't
it's
know,
some
but
people
it's,
who do
yeah,
that.
I think that I would rather come home to somebody every day that loves their job and be with someone that I laugh with and dance around the kitchen with than be in a slightly bigger home with a slightly nicer car. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not, yeah.
No, that
So,
makes.
so tons of non-negotiables for sure. And that kind of leads us to our last branch of the honeymoon phase, and this is one that I've been practicing a lot of, and you as well, but
Yeah.
me for sure, is compromise. So this episode is the honeymoon phase and also just initial stages of a relationship and finding your footing and,
Mhm.
whatever. So compromise, man, like fuck, that's huge. That's so big because we're old now. Like
Yeah.
we've all been through some shit. Like we're all coming from very different backgrounds. Like learning about someone, and we talked about love languages, that's an example that sticks out to me. Learning and caring about someone's love languages so that you can love them better and they can
Mhm.
love you better. That's a version for me of compromise, is like knowing, okay, my partner isn't strong with her words of affirmation. That's something important to me. We talk about that and we work on that. And something I need to be more this is real examples. I need to be more patient. I know that about myself. And but instead of fucking keeping it to ourselves and resenting each other, we talk about that. So I think healthy compromises come from good communication and constant communication.
Okay. That's fair.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I would say that that's kind of where we're at. Also, my current CSP, like I remember one time I was just like not having a good night, and I said I need some space without even dealing with our issue, and they said, "Okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good night." I said, "Have a
Mhm.
good night," and then the next day I woke up and we had a conversation. They're like, "I'm not mad at you," and I was like, "Oh, I thought you'd be since I asked for space," and they were like, "No, like if you need space, then like good for you. Like that's fine. Like I respect that and know that's what you need to calm down in the moment. And like I'm not mad at you. Like I'm just like I'm just
Mhm.
waiting to have this conversation." And I was like, "Okay, cool."
But
Just
that's I feel like that this is directed at me because a couple days ago you and I had that conversation and I didn't like being told to take space. But that's one of and you were the one that was like, okay, and normally your best friend's gonna be like, no, yeah, for sure, dude, like you're right. I told Stella what was going on, and Stella's like, you're wrong, brother. I was like, don't tell him that because she's so fucking competitive. She does not need to know that you're on her side when she and I are bitching. I do not need that.
tell you how it is, right? Like I'm not
Yeah.
gonna steer you the wrong way. I'm not gonna be like, "Yes, Sarah, you're right," but I'm like, "No, Sarah, you're actually not right here. Like they have every right to feel this way, and like I don't think they're doing anything wrong." And that them asking for space is actually productive in the long run because it is preventing any further issues in case they were to say something that they didn't mean.
Okay, whatever. You and Liv have the same attachment style, okay? Liv absolutely has an avoidant attachment style. I'm fine with taking space. I have an anxious probably also secure, hopefully. But when there's conflict, I want to talk about it until we fix it and not even take a fucking breath in between until we are fine and good. You and Liv want to exit and revisit a couple hours later. Number
Yeah.
one, you want to take space. We're 5,000 kilometers away. That's difficult. Okay. Like we can't just take an hour and then sit on the couch and like, oh God, I could do an episode on this long distance shit, man. But you can't like the way that you can leave the house and go to the gym or go for a walk and come back and sit down with your partner and have your hand on their lap, looking them in the eyes and discussing these issues and like holding their hand while you're doing it. We don't have any of that. We have texting and phone calls and FaceTime and fucking Snapchat. Okay. That's all we have. So anyway, point is, okay, one party wants space, and then the other party, which is me, wants to talk about it until the fucking cows come home. My thing with in my situation was, okay, yes, we can take space, but I need to feel reassured before you go. I said to her, and I hope this is me, I'm being careful not to, this isn't oversharing about anything sexual, but
Yeah.
I said there are two things I need before we take the night apart and not talk. Number one, I need to know why you're upset. Okay, that's very important. Don't leave me for 12 hours to wonder what I did wrong because I'm going to spin out and when you come back in 12 hours and you feel good and level headed like Liv would, I'm like more upset because I don't even know why we're in, like, why are you upset with me? Because she didn't tell me. And then, so I said, number one, tell me why you're upset before you go. And number two, just a couple words of reassurance, like, I'm not going anywhere. Our relationship is not at risk. I love you. Everything's fine. I just need space. Why are you looking at me like that? That's not too much to ask.
No,
No, it's not. I know it's not. I'm not, that's not up for discussion.
no. Continue.
So yeah, I think that it's okay. That is fine. That is the ultimate finding compromise for my partnership right now is you want to take space, I want to talk about it. Here's what let's do these, check off these two boxes, and then we can take space and revisit when you're ready to talk about it. And that's fine. And that's big compromise for me because then I sit alone for 12 hours wondering what I did wrong. Like if we haven't had that conversation first. So anyways, like she and I have talked about that and we found that to be a good compromise. So there you go.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
No,
Um
what I have to say about it is, but what happens if that again isn't your person's form of expression and actually might put them very uncomfortable to have to go and say these kind of things? That's fine, but I was smiling because my current CSP and I had a conversation about what was going on with you two. Because I was like, I was like, I just don't see the point. Like I was like, I just like if I'm asking for space, like that means I don't want it. Like I just need it because I know I'm gonna say something I don't mean or something. And I'm like, why are they asking me these things when they've already been told that this isn't their form of communication? You know what I
mhm.
mean, like, and what was their code name again?
I think Margaret.
No, I think it was like Margot.
Oh, Margot. Yeah, it was a hot name. Yeah,
It's
Margot.
Margot. Why did I just say that last time? Because it's um said actually I agree with Sarah here that
Yes.
and that's why I was laughing because they did say that it was a little much, but they would like some sort of like call to be like, "Hey, we're good." Like it's just to hear what my tone of voice is speaking to them to be
Mhm.
like, "Hey, it's cool. Like I just need some space and like I'll just talk to you tomorrow."
It's a fear. I've never been really abandoned. I've left every partner I've had, so I don't know where I get this like fear of abandonment from, but I just want to know that we're good. Like
Yeah.
I just want to know that everything's fine, that we're okay, and that the relationship is not at risk. I just want to know, like, I love you, I care about you, we're fine. I can't talk right now. I can't articulate myself. So let's revisit in a few hours. And I'm good to do that as long as my needs are met first. That's like,
Yeah.
I think that's compromise. So whatever.
And I guess that's like just meeting each other halfway,
That's
you
it.
know?
And that's compromise. And that's our conversation. That's all I have to say. I've exposed Liv enough for today. And you've exposed Margot, even using her name. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to
I don't think I
beat that
fully said
out.
it. Whatever. We'll beat that out. Sorry guys. Uh,
That's so funny.
I
Welcome
just
to an episode.
have a lot of word vomit recently where I just can't hold it in. So we'll see how that goes after.
Yeah,
But
shout out to Julian for hopefully helping us edit this one.
yeah. So I guess that's it for today.
That's it. That was a very fun episode.
Right.
Brought us back to our roots of dating chats and sex and such.
Yeah.
So we're always open for ideas. Anybody listening, if you have a topic you'd love to hear us talk about, or a guest that we should have on, or whatever it might be,
Mm-hmm.
slide into the DMs. Yeah. And thanks for listening. We're so excited to be on our second year of this, which is insane, really. Like it's
Seriously.
insane. Because
It's like
we didn't
this.
release until March, but we started and recording in February last year. Yeah.
That's wild.
So it was really fun being in the studio. I hope that that I can get back. Well, now that I'm in a long distance relationship, I'll definitely get back at some point. soon, so we can record in person again, because that's fun.
Yes, that'd be super nice. And I hope everyone had a good holidays and a good new year. And what did you do, I guess, quickly before we head out?
For New Year's, nothing.
Yeah.
I'm a loser. What'd you do? No, wait, we talked about this last episode, Goofy. We recorded on. Oh no, we didn't. It was released on January 3rd, but we hadn't.
Yeah.
But you
But
didn't. Go ahead.
yeah, no, we just went out. We had a nice time. It was fun. It was not very like it was just like a nice night. It was a nice night, and it was weird to ring in the New Year sober.
Yeah,
So
it's exciting, dude. Big year ahead.
I just passed 7 months a couple of days ago.
Yay,
Uh,
congratulations. So your 1 year is June 5th?
June 5th.
June 5th. Okay. Mark your calendars, everyone. June 5th.
Calendars, everyone. Send me a present.
Yeah. For real, honestly. Yeah, agreed.
Address and the link below. Just
Yeah,
joking.
yeah. Fuck, love it. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. It's so funny. Stella and I always, when we start, we're like, why are our episodes always an hour? And then we're like, when we start talking, we're like, oh, it probably won't be an hour long. And then it always fucking is, because we always just
Yeah.
ramble and talk our shit as we do.
I know. So I guess that's Stel and Sarah signing off for another episode here.
Yeah.
And just saying ciao and thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.